before we get things started for this week's show, we want to say our heartfelt and greatest sympathies to Bob Hoskins' family. Bob Hoskins, actor and director, was 71 years old when he passed away after a terrible bout with pneumonia. We have not much more to say about that other than just to show you this special tribute to him, and then we'll get going with this week's episode of TAJS. So please take this moment to say your condolences and a moment of silence as well. Fitting tribute to a great man. We will greatly miss you, Bob Hoskins. He was an excellent Eddie Valiant in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, a funny Smee in Hook, and a lot of other things that he done as well. He was an excellent actor, great inspiration to young Britons who wanted to become actors. He was a good man. Our heartfelt condolences from all of us at TAJS go out to his friends and family in this time of grief. Alright people, it's time now for our annual Loot Crate unboxing for the month of April. Now, this month's April's theme was Dragon. And it was all to do with anything to do with Game of Thrones and Elder Scrolls and so on and so forth. So we're going to check out this baby right now and see what's in here. Here we go. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Big dice. Look at that. Look at that. Big dice. Little dice. How do you like that? Little dice. Big dice, little dice. Dice, big dice. Ooh. The Nord. Look at that. From Symbiotes? Symbiotes? Really? Elder Scrolls Online, The Nord. Apparently it's a Loot Crate exclusive. Only available through Loot Crate. I like that. It's nice. Now, I'm not exactly an Elder Scrolls fan myself. My kid brother is, and he plays that game sometimes, and you know, this would be the kind of stuff I'm going to save for him for his birthday. Either way, now what else we got here? A Dragon Shield screen cleaner. Look at that. It says washable, reusable, restickable. Stick on the back of your iPhone or your micro. How do you like that? Look at that. You can stick it on the back of your iPhone or your iPod Touch. Peel it off, clean the screen with logo side. Washable, reusable, restickable. Microfiber screen cleaner. Very nice. Very nice indeed. And as always, the Loot Crate pen. This one's for April 2014. Says right on there, Dragon was the theme. Which, by the way, May's theme is now going to be Adventure. It's interesting how that one's going to work because it says it's going to have to do with it. There's going to be stuff in there for Adventure Time and a few other things. There's also going to be an exclusive T-shirt. You want to sign up for Loot Crate and get epic goodness every month and stuff? Follow the link down below. Use TARABABCOCK as your code word to get $3 off your first Loot Crate, your first month of Loot Crate. It's a great service, excellent to be a part of, and also they have big contest giveaways for a mega crate once in a while and stuff. You go on their Facebook page and you'll learn more on everything that's considered epic goodness from Loot Crate. And back to what we were doing here. Okay, Game of Thrones vinyl figure. There you go. There you go. Game of Thrones. I wonder which one I'd get. I'd have to open it first to find out. Oh well. What else we got in here? Ooh. Dragon Slayer dog tag. How do you like this? Dragon Slayer dog tag. Ooh. How nice. How very nice. I'm going to open this thing. I am going to open this thing and see which one we get. Okay. Let's see what we got. Really? Oh, great. I don't want to open. Oh, indecisively evil. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. Goody. Now it wants to play more of the whole opening thing. Okay, I can do that. Stupid clip things. Look at this. Why do you need several clip things? The box stays shut as it is, and the thing's sealed in a bag. Let's see what we got. Oh, Jesus. Let's see here. Which one are you? 2 of 20. 2 of 24. Oh, goody. Great. Now I don't even know who you are. Well, I know who he is. He looks like, anyway. I watch Elder Scrolls. Damn Angry Joe and his review on that thing. I watch Game of Thrones, but sometimes I forget the names of the characters, and it gets a little confusing when people die off on the show and stuff that you finally get to know. So, okay, so we know what that little goodie is. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, what else we got here? Oh my God. Mikey's Dragon Jerky. Beef jerky. Oh my God, look at this shit. Dragon Jerky. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, and then we have the usual. Oops, lost that. There we go. And then we have the usual booklet that comes with every Loot Crate. This one's for April 2014, using the theme Dragon. Look at that. Talks about dragons. Mythical beasts. No shit, Sherlock. And then Elder Scrolls. Trade chat. Look at that. Think you know Game of Thrones. Ooh, look at that. Little trivia for you. Mm-hmm. Then it talks about Elder Scrolls Online. And that is this month's Mega Crate. April's Mega Crate. Which I believe the contest is already over with now, but I have no idea. They always hold them in weird ways. And that's pretty neat. Game of Thrones action figures. Now it says this month's epic items. Elder Scrolls Online exclusive figure. Game of Thrones Mystery Mini. Dragon Jerky. Dragon Shield Screen Cleaner. 20-sided stress dice. I like that. Stress dice. 20-sided poly whatever dice. Dragon Slayer Tag. I'm terrible with the name thing. I'm terrible with the name thing, people. Anyways, like I said, if you want to be a part of this service, get some epic loot every month, exclusive t-shirts, certain things that come in this every month. Sign up down below. Follow the link down below. We have it in the description. Follow the link down below to lootcrate.com and go to and enter TARABABCOCK, all one word, not separate, all one word, as your code, and it will give you $3 off your first month of Loot Crate. And also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Follow Loot Crate and on Facebook and Twitter. They answer questions when they can. If you have any, it's a great service, great to be a part of. Always epic as hell. Okay, now let's move on to Newsflash. Coming up next. Okay, people, it's time now for this week's Newsflash. As you all know, Newsflash used to be done by Tara, our lovely Miss TARABABCOCK. However, she's just now doing the Tara show. And Newsflash is done by the bodiless and sexy little English voice. Is she English? Or is it Aussie? Probably both. Either way, it's a great service. Great service. I'm still stuck on the Loot Crate here. Sorry about that. Either way, it's time now for this week's news. And we'll see you guys afterwards.
Hello and welcome to your Monday News Update. Today we have news about From Software being bought, a long-awaited PS4 update, and the next Ace Attorney. But let's start the show with one of the biggest video game mysteries of the last 30 years. The urban legend about the buried ET Atari games in New Mexico turns out to be true. Cartridges for the game were dug up by Microsoft as part of a documentary currently in development for Xbox. E.T. the Extraterrestrial is widely considered the worst video game in history and blamed for causing the video game crash of 1983. The long-awaited PS4 firmware update that removes HDCP protection will arrive this Wednesday. This means you can finally capture game footage directly through HDMI on your PC without the need of a special HDMI splitter. The update also includes the Share Factory video editing app and ability to preload digital games. EA has activated the ability to purchase in-game items for Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare with real money, 2 months after its launch. The microtransactions allow you to purchase in-game currency in varying quantities from the game's sticker shop. Garden Warfare is currently on Xbox One and 360 exclusively, although a PC version is expected at some point. From Software, the developer of Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, has been bought by the Japanese publisher Kadokawa. The Japanese publisher has published several Suda51 titles in the past, but is now focusing on development of its own titles. From Software hasn't announced a new project yet, but it is to be expected that they will be working on a Dark Souls game for the Xbox One and PS4. The next Ace Attorney marks the start of a new story arc for the franchise. The reboot is called The Great Ace Attorney and takes place in ancient Japan. You will play one of Phoenix Wright's female ancestors, Capcom confirmed in the Japanese gaming magazine Famitsu. The Nintendo 3DS game is still in very early stages of development, with no release date as of yet. Sony Online Entertainment sneakily released a gameplay trailer for the upcoming zombie apocalypse title H1Z1. The trailer can be unlocked by entering the Konami code onto the game's official website. Any real gamer knows this code by heart, but in case you don't, here you go. The latest videos on the PlayStation Japan blog showcase a selection of augmented reality experiments the company is conducting with the PlayStation 4 and its camera. The first video demonstrates fluid simulation with a couple of white cards. The second video highlights dynamic lighting using a real flashlight on a virtual dinosaur and pop star. It is not known if these experiments will be released to the general public. A game with the name Mass Effect Trilogy for the PS4 and Xbox One has appeared on a Chilean retail website. The listing did not specify a release date or price, and no official announcement has been made by BioWare. EA released a Mass Effect Trilogy for PS3 and Xbox 360 in late 2012. The package contained all DLC and marked the first time the original Mass Effect was available on Sony's console.
No more running and no more waiting. Let's hit them where they live.
And that's all the news we've got for you today. Come back Thursday for a brand new update from the world of video games. Happy gaming!
There you have it, people! Newsflash! And can you believe that? They found that whole legend of the E.T. Atari cartridges buried out in the desert thing. I thought it was a myth. I actually thought it was one of those big urban legend things in the gaming community, but no, they found them. Guess you can't always brush off everything. Okay, now we're going to start our new feature coming up next, which is Anime Review. And our first one on the chopping block is Dead Man Wonderland. Coming up next. It's time now for our new and exclusive new feature to the Adventurous Joe Show. Anime Review. That's right. We're going to be checking out some of the best anime on the internet, on TV, whatever you want to call it, on DVD even. And we're going to be reviewing it. And our first one on the chopping block is Dead Man Wonderland. Holy shit! This series was so gross and disturbing. I mean, grossly disgusting and disturbing and unbelievable. I mean, the story starts off very boring, but at the same time, stupid as hell. Not only does it not tell you any backstory to it until like the first 6 episodes in the series, but it starts off with just a normal school day for these school kids and stuff, these middle school kids, whatever you want to call them, and it's just like normal. They're talking about going to this new amusement park / prison called Dead Man Wonderland that just opened and stuff, and people are going and talking about it. This kid Ganto, who happens to be one of the main characters of the story. You know, it's just unbelievable. He ends up witnessing his classmates get entirely murdered. I mean, this guy burst right through the red hood, he called him. The man in the red hood. Burst through this fucking window, breaks apart everything, slaughters all his classmates in front of him and stuff, and he gets the blame for it all. talk about a judicial system that is so stupidly fucking corrupt. I mean, Dead Man Wonderland is the most dumbest, shortest series there could ever have been made. And I just was disgusted with some of the shit that took place in it. For one, they had no backstory until like the first 6 episodes were already done. And then it starts telling you about 10 years ago, this big red crimson event thing took place, and all hell broke loose. These people got infected with something in their blood, and it allows them to use their blood as a weapon. However, if you use too much of your blood, you still will die. What kind of stupid anime is this? How can it even be called anime for that matter? This damn thing had a mix between hentai and freaking bad anime. And it just was like, let's mash it all together and make it something we call an anime series. Fuck that shit. This thing was not an anime series. When they said not meant for children, they fucking meant it. It should have been not even considered under anime. It should have been labeled under hentai. Because there's a scene where they're using gang rape as a weapon to get people to straighten up in this fucking hellhole prison. And then there's a scene that a brother and sister can't even get their story straight. The sister is locked up. Both of them are locked up in there. But the brother's trying to buy his sister's freedom because he thinks she's been framed. She says her dad was a drunken abusive person and beat on her all the time and shit since her mother died. And then the brother's side of the story is that not only was the dad a drunken abusive person, he also molested his sister. What kind of fucked up shit is this? Either way, Dead Man Wonderland is not an anime series. It's the most piece of junk garbage ever created. Worst anime ever. And here at TAJS, we were disgusted by it. Absolutely disgusted. None of it made sense. The story kept jumping back and forth between this character. It's hard to maintain a story when you can't get a main focus on anything. And come on, Gonto claims this whole fucking series he's innocent of what happened to him and shit, but he's not fighting it. He's acting like a goddamn wimpy ass bitch. And it's ridiculous. Unfucking believable. I was put in his shoes, I'd be fighting every fucking step of the way. Not fucking being, oh, I'm so weak, I'm such a scaredy little bitch, and then I want to fucking fight it out and shit. Oh, hell no. I'd have been fighting all the way. I never had none of this weak fucking bullshit. Unbelievable. Dead Man Wonderland, final verdict for Dead Man Wonderland. Our first anime review is a 1 out of 10. Worst anime ever. We do not recommend it at all. It's getting the TAJS epic fail of all things. I mean, Jesus God. Even though it's supposed to be 13 episodes, we only saw the first 12. And apparently the 13th episode was a bonus episode, never aired on American television or something. Either way, it was gross, it was disgusting, very, very disturbing, and not meant for children at all. Not even meant to be called an anime series. The people that created this stupid thing need to be hung up by their shoelaces on a straight pole for all I care. Ugh. Either way, final verdict for Dead Man Wonderland, our first anime review here, 1 out of 10. Worst anime ever. We're labeling it worst anime ever. And that's it. Okay, people. Time now to move on to something different. Angry Joe's got an interview with the guys behind Watch Dogs, and it's next. Okay, people, like I said, it's time now for Angry Joe's interview with the guys behind Watch Dogs. Now, what I've seen from this interview, it was pretty damn good. Some of the stuff they talked about, how Watch Dogs is going to be completely different from any game you've ever played before and stuff like that. I cannot wait for this game to come out. Around May 27th is the release date. I've got mine on pre-order with Amazon, along with the strategy guide, because I got it in the bundle thing. Either way, I loved it. Just from watching it, I want to play it. I can't wait to play it. It's like, you know, Infamous, the Rising, Second Son. Rising Sun? And I'm getting mixed up on everything here. Either way, here's Angry Joe now to tell you more about it, and let the guys behind Watch Dogs tell you more about it as well.
Hey guys, Angry Joe here, and I'm with Colin, who is the animation director for Watch Dogs, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about how the state of Watch Dogs and how it's evolved since its delay. So I guess the question on everybody's mind, at least my audience, is something we got to address right away. Now I'm kind of standing right here next to the steps, right? So
make your question good.
Make my question good, or he's going to push me up the steps. But okay, so. There's been a little controversy with the graphics. You know, the graphics was shown and it looked to have been downgraded.
Yeah.
And I've seen the GIF. Everybody's seen the GIF. What happened there? Is that a PS4 running, and what we were shown was the PC?
Sure. So in 2012, we had the PC version showing. We didn't have a PlayStation 4 in 2012. So we built a nice version that works on the ultra high-end PC. And if you've just seen the NVIDIA trailer that's came out, you can really see that's the same. So.
Is that the one with the Chicago trailer?
No, there's a trailer done by NVIDIA that shows all of the NVIDIA tech, and that's really pushing what the high-end PC can do. Okay. So for players, they can say, well, you can really see what Watch Dogs can be and what you can do on a high-end PC, and that's what the Disrupt engine can do at the max. Since E3 2013, we've been showing the PlayStation 4 content, and so you can pretty much see the rest of the content is from the PlayStation 4.
So I think that's pretty much squash, guys. And right now, all these demos down here are running on PlayStation 4. And I've seen the game, and it looks great. It looks beautiful. It looks as good as, if not better than, Grand Theft Auto 5. Of course, I would expect that since we are running on PS4s versus Xbox 360 and things like that. So anyway, I looked at the PC specs. I noticed they were quite high, and like 6 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to match E3's the look of the game at E3?
If you have the ultra specs, you should get the same result. If you have all of the NVIDIA,
it was beautiful. I think it blew a lot of people away at the amount of detail that's been put into the world.
And basically, from there, as your hardware sort of comes down in power, you're going to sort of get closer and closer to what you see on the PlayStation 4.
Okay, cool. So let's talk a little bit about, with this extra time, what have you guys been able to do? Have you put anything specifically new into the game, saying, hey, look, we've got a lot of extra time, let's throw in some more content?
So we had the temptation to just try to create a bunch of brand new features, and this I think is really not the right thing to do when you're given an extra amount of time. So one of the big things that we want people to understand about Watch Dogs is there's all systems that are interconnected, and these systems take a lot of time to just tune them just right. So when we were getting closer to the end of the game, we were making a lot of cuts to try to get it to fit within the deadline that we had. We're on a new console, we're a new IP. These were all big challenges for us, and we just weren't getting the quality that we wanted as a team. So, we came very close to the ship date, but UB said, take the time, do this thing right. I mean, we're starting a new franchise with Watch Dogs, and we don't want to disappoint players with a mediocre game because the expectation is so high.
Yeah, and you guys are expecting to make more games in the Watch Dogs.
I hope so, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Depends if anybody buys this one.
Yeah, no.
Get out there and buy it.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. One thing that I did notice about the game, because I got some hands-on time that I liked and appreciated, it seems like it's a little bit different direction from most open world games. Most open world games are like, here are our main missions, the characters interact and they got great animations, and you go here and do this. In this, but you kind of stay away from the NPCs. You get too close to the NPCs and things kind of fall apart. This game puts a lot of emphasis on the NPCs, walking up to NPCs, figuring out, you know, what their occupation is, their age, how much money they make, and then these sort of dynamic or emergent storylines can happen. These systematic, you know, things missions that happen right then and there. Like, for example, I was walking up on a lady and there was a crime about to be committed against her and I had to hide. So of these random events, can you quantify about how many of these events are in the game that we're going to be experiencing?
Well, there are some things like you talked about, like those predicted crimes that are happening. As you go through and you profile people, you read their text messages, and you can and the system kind of tells you that's a crime that's about to happen. For all intents and purposes, that's essentially infinite. That will just keep generating new crimes over and over and over again. We have a good variety of other challenges for the player as well. We have some convoy challenges. We have some contract challenges. And these are more systemic missions. So basically, they're free approach. The player can kind of approach them whatever way they want. And as you learn new tools, you can experiment. So if you choose to play them the same way every time, that's okay, but they will challenge you with harder enemies, with more things that you're going to have to manage, more targets that you have to manage, different ways that you have to accomplish your goal. So the open world gameplay is actually quite expansive. And then there's also some additional story points, characters that you see will reveal additional peripheral story arcs as well. So the open world is, for me, actually, it's one of my favorite parts of the game to play because it allows us to really be expressive and creative, but we're not, and we're doing a lot of work when we think about that. We're working really hard to solve the problems, the new challenges that come at us, but we're having fun because we're just playing a game. And if you really want to go full tilt, go play it on realistic mode, because realistic mode will kick your butt.
What happens in realistic mode? How does the game change?
Well, for the biggest difference is the bullet damage on the enemies is a lot more realistic. You really can't gunfight head on with your enemies. If you think you can just like kind of gunfight your way through the map, it doesn't really work. You've got to get in there and you got to hack. You've got to find the security cameras and the hackable devices. So you've got to set traps. You've got to lure your enemies into traps. You've got to be stealthy. And one of the things that I think I can't wait to see it when players upload their videos from Watch Dogs onto the net, because we're going to see people combine different things like shooting plus hacking, plus exploding IDs, traffic light, traffic jams, steam pipes, and all of this kind of layers on top of itself. So there isn't a right or wrong way to play the game. Players can invent their own style, and you can replay this. Like, you can just replay it over and over again.
Yeah, I noticed that. So when I hopped on a motorcycle, I was supposed to chase down a car, and I was like, okay, well, how do I shoot from my motorcycle? But I couldn't shoot from the motorcycle, which, you know, in previous open world games, this has been rather hard to do. In this one, you don't always solve all problems with shooting with your gun. In this case, I stopped the guy by popping up those parking roadblocks, slamming, the barriers.
Well, I mean, if it's good to have a gun, I guess, but if you can actually explode the road underneath the guy and launch.
Oh yeah, that ability looks really impressive.
Yes, that's actually one of my favorites.
You got me excited when you said endless content. Let's talk a little bit about, first off, how many hours are players going to experience in this game? I mean, how long is this game? I saw the content wheel. I think after the tutorial and the first mission, I was only at like 0.3%. How much can we expect?
Well, the story mission contributes for a good chunk of the progression. So, but if you want to get everything, I think I would expect maybe a player is going to put 100 hours if he wants to unlock everything on the story progression.
And then you were saying endless content, and how does that factor in? What's the end game like? Are you able to still explore the city once the story's over? And
players have to wait to play the game to find out how it ends.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about multiplayer. I think a lot of people are excited about that, and there hasn't really been a whole lot of media on that. How many different modes are in multiplayer, and can you explain some of them?
Well, you saw some of the modes today, and maybe you can tell people how you probably
I will.
experience it. One of the things that we keep talking about is that we have seamless multiplayer. So that when you're playing the game, you don't have to go to another menu and load it, and then you're also not always necessarily playing against like the elite multiplayer. every time you're playing it, you're playing against other guys who are playing their story missions, and you kind of drift. You go seamlessly into their game. They quite often don't know they're there. You probably got hacked. You probably didn't know the guy was there until he was into your game for quite a while.
It was a cool mechanic. I thought it was a cool mechanic. I actually hacked into somebody's game, and I would walk real slow, like I'm like an NPC.
And when that goes live on May 27th, and we get all these players playing it, I mean, I can't even imagine some of the strategies the players are going to come up with. It's going to be, I don't know, we're going to discover it just like everybody else.
Can players opt out of that? Because it could be rather annoying for somebody who's just trying to enjoy the single-player content to constantly be harassed with notifications. Some missions you can decline or just not accept, but others happen no matter what, and I think that was the observation mission, and I kept being annoyed by that. Am I able to turn that off?
Well, I mean, you don't have to accept the observation missions, and you can also turn off other players from being able to invade you, but it does kind of cut back a little bit on what the real Watch Dogs experience is. The dev team, nobody ever turns this feature off.
Okay, so one thing I saw in the trailer is this big mechanical spider. Now, what the hell is that all about? Because I thought Watch Dogs was supposed to be this realistic, immersive world. Are we going to be like Superman 64 here, where we're fighting robots the whole time? What's going on with the robot?
So what we have is the digital trips. They're basically like an alternate reality game that you can kind of jump into and play, and it just changes your perspective. In this particular case, you are now playing as a giant spider robot. Can't even say that with a straight face. Giant spider robot, and you were just blasting the cops. I saw you, and I love your face when you discovered that. You were like,
"Oh yeah.
What is this?" I hope you got the camera on you for that.
Oh, I did. I had a lot of fun being the giant robot. I mean, it was like Wild Wild West style, just going and killing people. In the streets.
So yeah, for those we wanted to create something. We just wanted to make sure we created something a little bit light. It's digital. It fits on your phone. It's the kind of thing. They're little apps. So,
and I noticed a lot of different mini games. There was like a VR mini game where augmented reality where you're shooting down space invaders and stuff, and that was cool. Can you talk about other mini games that we might be playing?
Well, I noticed you were playing chess, so we have a full chess game.
I noticed that they were like puzzles. Full chess?
You have full chess in there. Okay. Yeah, you do the puzzles and you can play full chess. We have a couple of other augmented reality mini games that players will maybe. I'm not sure if we talked about them yet. Players maybe will see them on some of the B-roll. There's a ton of stuff. It's one of the plus things about developing at Ubisoft is we have a lot of different developers around the world that help work on Watch Dogs. It's not just Ubisoft Montreal. So we're able to use the teams in England and in France to help contribute with some of our peripheral content, some of our fun stuff. And on top of that, we also have the team in Quebec City, which works on the C2S mobile. So did you play that?
That's the other thing I was going to connect, is that there's a mobile game that's going to come out for iOS. Is it going to come out for Android?
Yes, iOS, Android, Kindle Fire HD, which I think is Android anyways.
And that's one of the 6 multiplayer modes. So one guy's sitting on an iPad controlling the cops and the helicopters and the streetlights and stuff, while another guy just tries to race out of there.
Yeah. So when you're playing on the C2S mobile, it's a free app, so anybody can download it and play it, and you can play it anywhere you got a wireless connection. So what it does is just basically puts all of the hacking in the palm of your hand. So you control the barriers. If the player is running over civilians, you tag them, and then you get points to generate more cops. You want to control the helicopter, raise bridges, and then of course it's all played in the same world that the player is learning. So when you learn the streets, when you learn where all the hacks are, you can become very good at avoiding them. So the player who's playing on the C2S mobile has to work very hard to trap you.
It's tough. The mobile games, I have yet to encounter a game that the mobile app works like day one. Yeah. I guess that's just because of the flood of players coming in. Are you guys hoping that
we'll cross our fingers and work hard, and I'm pretty sure.
Now, are these connected? Can you carry over your experience from the mobile into the game, or are they separate?
Yeah, well, for our online, we have an online progression, so we have special skills tree for the online, and all of this contributes back to the online notoriety skill points.
Okay. So about how large is this map? I mean, can you compare it to some other games?
Yeah, it's hard to compare to other games. I'll say one thing. It's a very large map for the type of game that we've built. We don't have flying in our game, so we don't have to have a great big empty space for the player to fly his plane around. So we tried to make sure that we had really good, dense content. Every part of the world is used, and the story and the open world missions should take you to the whole world. It's a game more based at the sort of the ground level and driving level and hacking level.
Okay, and since it's all about this, dynamic storytelling and emergent gameplay, can you tell me maybe 2 stories that you or maybe playtesters you know of have experienced that were extra fun or crazy?
Well, something that I like to do, I've been experimenting with recently, is trying to get the cops to fight against the mobs and kind of try to be the puppet master, just sit in the back and hack. So I like to run out in the street, grab a gun, point it in the air, threaten people, and then when they freak out and call the cops, I like to try to hide near the enemies and try to get the cops to try to fight them. Sometimes it's really cool to see like a group of mobsters trying to shoot a helicopter out of the sky.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can.
I noticed that, there are certain sections in the game where you go up, you jump into a camera, you jump into another camera, hack it, and then also manipulate the security guards or police in the area. It almost turns from this open world game into almost like a simulation, like a god simulator, where you like trick people into doing certain things. Was that?
There's definitely different perspectives in Watch Dogs. Like, that's a good point. Security cameras are not hostile, and they're just one way to sort of alter your perspective. Now, the game, like I said before, the game is a full simulation, so every civilian is an actual real AI, every NPC is a real AI, nothing is fake. So that if you hack something, that character reacts according to what their AI simulation of it is, and you can jump all the way around the block, look at something from the other side, explode something, people might react to that, then you can use that as a distraction. There's a completely sort of, like you said, the God-eye version of the way to play the game. So I hope players are going to play with that and experiment with that.
Sounds like a ton of content, and then you've got the endless sort of crime system, crime investigations. But are we going to get any DLC? Is there any DLC plans, season pass, anything like that?
To be determined. Check the rumors online.
Okay, check the rumors online. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.
People, Watch Dogs. Now, as I said, the game comes out on May 27th at retailers everywhere in the U.S. I don't know when it comes out exactly in the UK, but I think they get it before we do. I can't remember exactly. Either way, May 27th is the release date for Watch Dogs. I hope you guys pick it up. It looks like it's going to be a very great game. We're hopefully Angry Joe or myself is going to have a review on it, and you never know how it will play out. Either way, Watch Dogs, May 27th. Keep an eye out, gamers. Okay, now it's time for our lovely hostess, Tara Babcock, and the Tara Show. Coming up next. Alright, people, it's time now for our lovely and excellent Uber gamer slash nerd, Tara Babcock, to tell you more about whatever she's got in mind for this week's Tara Show. Something to do with Doom 4. Oh! Doom 4. I like it! It's got something to do with Doom 4. I'm all over it. I want to hear all about Doom 4. Now, Doom 1 and 2, I grew up in high school, going through high school playing those on the computer. Doom 3, never had a chance to play it. Either way, I loved those games. They were fun. I hope that when they do Doom 4, I hope it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to how it's going to turn out. Hopefully it will be pretty damn good. Either way, Tara's here more with this week's episode of The Tara Show to tell you all about it. Enjoy!
Hey guys, and welcome to a new episode of The Tara Show. 2 weeks ago we talked about zombies, last week we talked about scary games in general, and this week I want to talk about the new upcoming Doom. But first, let's take a look at you guys' comments. Christina Heiberg had a great point about scary games and them mostly being first person. Well, I'm just not into first person. I feel like my back is constantly exposed, so since 90% of horror games are like that, I instead just watch Pewdie getting freaked. I hate that I love horror. Watched The Exorcist and It when I was 4 years old, and can't handle scary shit, but when you're not in the driver's seat, it's not so bad. So, yeah, guess I am a chicken. Gray, that atmosphere, creepy. Jeremiah123 reminded us that scary games are one of the reasons that PewDiePie is so successful. #1 subscribed channel on YouTube is PewDiePie, and his reaction videos with 26 million subscribers and 76,000 new subscribers each day, lol. Love reaction videos. It's so exhilarating and hilarious to watch other people lose their shit. There's even a reaction video to reaction videos. Teens react to, elders react to. Also, boobs. Sorry, I just wanted to feel involved. I won't hold it against you. I know my boobs are pretty great. Grant O'Neill also agreed with me that the music in the scary games really makes the atmosphere 10 times creepier. The music in most games make it more intense and scary with the littlest things, like even going into the crypt in Mortal Kombat freaked me out. Same here, bro. Now that we've talked about what you guys think about last week's topic, let's go ahead and jump into Doom.
Doom 2 is just such a bigger, badder, better version of Doom. A lot of people out there waiting for it for sure. This is pretty much more popular than football.
Once you start playing, you're hooked.
Next month, Bethesda will start selling Wolfenstein: The New Order. If you pre-ordered it, you get a beta key and beta access to Doom 4. I'm really excited about it, but I'm also really curious how id Software is going to make it scary. By adding a beta key for Doom, it's kind of implied that there's going to be some multiplayer functionality, which kind of tones down my excitement for the game, because in my opinion, Doom has to be scary first and a huge, big multiplayer shooter second. The first 2 Doom games were like scary experiences, and they were just really, really terrifying games. They had a multiplayer LAN option, but that was just like an awesome side thing. It wasn't the main functionality. I mean, back then shooters and first-person shooters weren't really a big thing, and now it's like a huge thing with a huge market, but I'd still like to see Doom stick to its roots. Don't you guys agree? But times have changed, guys. The first-person genre is no longer dominated by Doom or Wolfenstein. Now it's like Call of Duty and stuff like that. Most of the horror games that are first-person nowadays don't even have many weapons in them. In the past 10 years, we've seen the shift pretty apparently. I mean, the Condemned series was pretty unsuccessful, and then we saw Fear and Dead Space go from more of a horror shooter to just a plain shooter that wasn't that scary at all. I really feel like nowadays horror games are going more toward the vulnerability and realisticness rather than actually being like a shooter. So you get games like Slender, Amnesia, Outlast, where you don't really have anything to defend yourself with, and you're kind of just going around and trying to survive without actually using big weapons and being able to take on millions and millions of enemies. It's nothing like Doom back in the day where there were just droves and droves of enemies and monsters you had to keep fighting and shooting and killing, and you could actually do that. The idea that Bethesda might take Doom and make it into a generic shooter really terrifies me. I mean, we have Wolfenstein for that. Wolfenstein is all about just like blowing up Nazis and running through and killing things, right? So keep Doom the way Doom should be. I just really hope that id Software is going to take a page from the book of creative assembly, and hopefully it'll be a lot like Alien Isolation. You need to focus on the horror, but don't hold back on the gore. I want Doom to scare the shit out of me. I want to see things that are horrific and scary. I want to have jump scares. I want to have gore. I want to be freaking freaked out. I want to see things that I've never seen before in a game. I mean, Doom? Come on. Good graphics? Come on. Let's make this really awesome. So, guys, what do you think about the new Doom that's coming out? Do you think that the beta is going to be good? Do you think Doom 4 is going to live up to what we want as gamers? Or do you think it's just going to be another generic shooter and everyone's just going to sell out? Personally, I really hope not, but let me know down in the comments what you guys want out of it. Maybe you guys just want a shooter. Maybe you're not so interested in horror over shooters anymore. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you check out my personal channel down in the description, where we play a lot of games and have a lot of fun. Don't forget, I love you guys. Bye.
A lot of the retailers are getting demand for Doom already, so they know that when Doom 2 comes out, they're going to be able to sell a lot of product.
People, this week's Terra Talks. Now, Doom 4, I hope to God they do not screw it up. I hope to God they put it on at least 3 different systems or 4 different systems than just Xbox One and PS4 or the PC, because not everybody has those. Except that, well, I have a PC. Well, that much is certain. Either way. That's it for Tara this week. We'll see her next week for more of the Tara Show. Okay, people, it's time now for our Cosplayer of the Week segment. Coming up next. Okay, people, it's time now. Stop doing that. It's time now for the Cosplayer of the Week segment, brought to you by them.TV Games and the TAJS. The TAJS. That's us! Oh, God. Don't mind us here, people. We are weird. Okay, it's time now for our Cosplayer of the Week segment. And this lovely young lady does not just do cosplaying, she is also a model, and she does a burlesque show. Whoa! Burlesque, people. I've never seen one in person. Now, I've seen Moulin Rouge. I saw that other one that was a burlesque thing. And I'm just like, holy. This woman does burlesque shows? Holy! I didn't even know those damn things even existed anymore. Either way, this lovely young woman is not only beautiful, talented, and Asian, cute, but she is also a great cosplayer, a great model, and from what I've heard, very good at the burlesque show thing. Love it. Either way, she's our Cosplayer of the Week, and she's being inducted into this. She's being inducted into the TAJS Cosplayers Hall of Fame. So she'll be joining the likes of Crystal Method, Ivy Doom Kitty, Spencer Doe, and a few others that are in there that are hard to keep track of. Please welcome now to, as you check out her pics and enjoy, and that's about it. I got nothing else. Oh, Jesus. I'm losing my mind here. Please welcome now into the TAJS Cosplayers Hall of Fame, your Cosplayer of the Week, Stella Chuu. Enjoy your pics, and we'll see you for the final part of the show.
Just turning end for end, we're united, let's tip the scales. And once the fire has been lit, the mind like through endless ages, ever lapsing into old ways.
Our lovely little Cosplayer of the Week, Stella Chuu. This lovely beauty, as I said, will be inducted into the Cosplayers Hall of Fame and for our show. And she'll be joining the likes of the ones that have come before her, such as Ivy Doomkitty, The Crystal Method, Spencer Doe, Nicole Marie Jean, and several others that are in there as well. Bethany Maddox, one of them. Echo Endless, Sonny Arlen. It's Sony. Sonny or Sony? Sony. Okay. Either way, thank you for watching this week's episode of TAJS. As always, I am Joseph Michaels, the Adventurous Joe, your host, and along with my friends Tara Babcock, the lovely Miss Tara Babcock, Angry Joe, always on the angry pill. That did not sound right at all. And our awesome guys at Zoomin.tv Games. Awesome guys and gals, excuse me. Until next week's show, hopefully I'm going to be going to see Amazing Spider-Man 2 this week. It's going to, since it's the premiere, I planned on being there for the premiere of it. And still can't decide if I'm going to wear this or if I'm going to wear my Spider-Man shirt I had picked out. Either way, I'm going to be there. And hopefully we'll have a full review for next week's show. And you guys get to enjoy it. Yeah! Oh, and to 20th Century Fox, we will no longer be airing any of your trailers talking about your upcoming movies. You screwed us over for the last time by getting our video blocked globally last week. And because of your X-Men Days of Future Past trailer. So, I'm sorry to say it, TAJS will no longer air anything from you. Sorry, but you blew it big time with us. Either way, that's it for our show here at TAJS. As always, like I said, I am your host, the Adventurous Joe, Joseph Michaels. Peace out. May the Force be with you. And may the power protect you. We'll see ya. Three, two, one. It's morphin' time!